There's another group of effects that's very fun to use called generate. So let's go back to the ocean, for instance, and I'm going to go into this folder under video effects called generate. Now, I kind of think of it as two categories: generate effects that can blend with your clip or that overwrite the clip. If I take 4-color gradient, for instance, and put this on the ocean, it overwrites the clip. And I would need to use a different blend mode, and we'll talk about those later. So I'm going to take that off. The next one down is cell pattern. That obviously overwrites the clip. I'm going to go down here to lens flare and add that to the clip. Okay, so as we see with keyframe editing, I can move my clip around. I have various lens flare options. I have actually 3 different kinds of lens flares to choose from. Okay, let's keep the first one again. So I could move it from the center and you see the lens flare across the screen. So let's animate that. I'm going to go to the beginning of the clip and I'm going to say turn on flare center, and then I'm going to move this down a little bit and move the flare over, and you could see the effect happen. And here it is going across the screen. Okay, so that's generate lens flare. I could change the brightness of it, for instance. I could have it go brighter or less bright. And I can blend with the original or not. But that just animating the lens flare across the screen is really effective. Now let's say I want to just generate an effect. I'm going to take this off. I just want to create a background, like a pretty 4-color background. I'm going to come down here in my project panel and select the second little icon to the right. It says new item, and I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to choose just to create a black video. So I'm going to create a black video, and this is the size of my screen and my frame rate. So I'm going to say OK. So here's my black video that I just created, and that's all it is a single black video that's about 5 seconds long. Okay, so it doesn't have anything on it to distinguish it from the background. So let's go over to the generate effects. So I'm going to go over to effects, and instead of lens flare, what I'm going to do is go back to that 4-color gradient and grab that and put that on the black video. Okay, that's kind of a pretty background, but let's say I need to change the colors. For instance, I don't want yellow, I want that to be blue. So in order to do that, I could click on the yellow swath, and here's the settings for that yellow. So here's the different colors, and here's my dot. It represents saturation across the screen and light to dark up and down on the screen. So I'm going to say I kind of like the color right about here, and I'm going to say OK. So now I have blue up in the left and the right. I could also change the position of that blue and move it over and move it down, for instance, to become more in the center of the screen. So those can be animated as well. So I could have them change color over time if I like. But that's an example of adding a generate effect that will overwrite the video clip that's under it.